In November 1962, rival engineers from Britain and France signed a single sheet of paper that would bend the sky: the Concorde Treaty. Two nations scarred by war but hungry for prestige vowed to build a passenger jet that could outrun the setting sun. Paris to New York in 3 hours, London breakfasts ending with Manhattan lunches. Aluminium smiths at Bristol and Toulouse sculpted a delta wing so slender it could slice the stratosphere, while Olympus 593 engines gulped kerosene like afterburning dragons. Each prototype cost more than an aircraft carrier, yet crowds packed hillside viewing points just to watch the white arrow ignite. Newspapers dubbed it the moon landing you can buy a ticket for. When Concorde 001 first kissed Mach 2 in 1969, its nose drooped gracefully for landing, and the control tower fell silent save for one whispered truth: mankind had turned geography into a scheduling error. On 21 January 1976, two Concordes departed simultaneously, one from Heathrow to Bahrain, the other from Paris to Rio, marking the dawn of commercial supersonic flight. Passengers in mink coats clinked crystal flutes as acceleration pressed them into buttersoft seats. Cabin windows darkened the blue-black edge of space. Digital clocks counted down to New York, arriving earlier than scheduled departure thanks to time zone sleight of hand. Celebrities, CEOs, and rock stars treated Flight 001 as an airborne cocktail lounge. Paul McCartney scribbled lyrics at Mach 2.04. Phil Collins once played both Live Aid concerts by hopping Concorde between continents. Even the catering was surreal. Lobster thermidor served at 60,000 feet. For a brief, glittering era, Concorde was less an airplane and more a status symbol with wings, its sonic boom trailing an invisible velvet rope across the Atlantic. But every triumph cast a shadow 30 kilometers long. Sonic booms rattled windows from Caracas to Cardiff, spawning citizen petitions and congressional hearings. The US banned overland supersonic flight. The Soviet Tu-144 crashed at Paris in 1973, souring public mood. Global oil shocks tripled fuel prices, turning Concorde's thirsty engines into fiscal vampires. Orders from 20 airlines evaporated to just 2, Air France and British Airways. To fill seats, governments sold the jets to their flag carriers at 1/8 production cost, hiding embarrassment behind diplomatic smiles. Environmentalists warned of ozone depletion. Accountants cited maintenance bills that read like royal ransoms. By the late 90s, each Concorde flight needed a cabin 80% full of first-class fares merely to break even. The white arrow still pierced clouds, but its ledger bled red ink, a glamorous albatross waiting for a final gust. Hotel chefs gathered by runway 26R to wave off Air France Flight 4590, a charter to New York loaded with German holidaymakers. At 1642, Concorde FBTSC accelerated, unaware a strip of metal dropped minutes earlier by a Continental DC-10 lay waiting. The tire exploded, rubber shards slashing a fuel tank, kerosene geysered into an afterburner fire. Tower controllers saw flames streaming like a comet tail. Captain Christian Marty wrestled the nose up, but with engine 2 dead, 1 failing, and landing gear jammed, the delta wing stalled. 52 seconds after liftoff, the jet cartwheeled into a Gonesse hotel, killing 113 people. Photographers captured a fireball framed by bright French countryside. The first and only fatal Concorde crash. Yet one too many for a plane with ticket prices measured in dreams. Concorde fleets were grounded in 24 hours. Engineers raced to fit Kevlar linings, burst-resistant tires, and spark shields. $150 million for a handful of jets already in their silver years. Flights resumed in November 2001, but the world had changed. Post-9/11 security, recession, and eco-awareness gnawed at luxury travel. Average load factors dipped below 50%. British Airways offered speed dating at Mach 2 giveaways to fill seats. Maintenance crews cannibalized one aircraft to keep the rest flying, a mechanical organ donor program in Hangar 14. The sound of Olympus engines still thrilled onlookers, yet behind tinted cockpit glass, pilots swapped rumors. 2003 might be farewell. On 24 October 2003, 3 Concordes converged on Heathrow. One from New York, one from Edinburgh, and a farewell circle over the Bay of Biscay. Crowds filled airport perimeters, chanting tail numbers like rock star encores. As Djibouti touched down, its tires smoked one last signature kiss on the runway. Pilots lowered the nose, taxied beneath water cannon arches, and shut down engines that had howled at twice the speed of sound for 27 years. Cabin crew wept behind designer sunglasses. The control tower played "Time to Say Goodbye" over VHF. A machine born to outrun sunsets had reached its own. Today, Concordes rest on plinths from Seattle to Barbados, wings polished by volunteers who still hear phantom afterburners in their dreams. Visitors press noses to cockpit windows, reading dials frozen at 2,179 kilometers an hour. Aerospace startups hype new boomless jets. None yet match the White Arrow's timetable. Air France mechanics now service Airbus A350s. British Airways captains fly 787s across the same ocean in twice the time. An Instagram generation replays grainy VHS of sonic booms they never felt. Supersonic travel proved technically possible, economically fragile. A lesson parked under museum spotlights. In 2025, NASA's X-59 Quest slices test ranges over the Mojave, promising a soft thump instead of a sonic crack. Engineers cite Concorde's data to refine laminar flow and biofuel blends. Historians remind them that speed alone cannot outrun operating costs. Yet ambition endures. Denver-based Boom Supersonic assembles carbon fiber fuselages, while startups explore hydrogen propulsion. Concorde's rise and ruin have become an equation. Prestige times velocity, divided economics equals viability. At Filton's Aerospace Bristol Museum, a child slips a paper plane down a simulated runway, watching it soar over a scale Atlantic in 20 seconds. She asks her father if airplanes will ever go that fast again. He looks at the awe in her eyes, the same spark that once ignited Anglo-French cooperation, and answers, "One day, but only if we're wise about why." The paper jet glides, silent but hopeful, echoing a boom that once rolled around the world.